People want to do business with people that they know, people that they love, and people that they trust.
Mhm.
So, what I want to break down today is the know, love, and trust. How do we get those three things? And
Yes.
what are the strategies to personally build all of these relationships?
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. It's time for another quickie because there's always time to fit in inspiration. And you guys know that once in a while, I bring on a guest onto these quickies to just give you like a quick hit of something that you can take away and utilize right away. And today I'm really excited because I have Steph Cartin with me from Entrepreneurs. And you guys know I got to go and speak at their incredible event just last month, which was so much fun. And the cool thing is that Steph and I just share so many core values around community building, relationships, relationship building, the long game, all of the things that we both believe have made us successful. So welcome to the quickie. We're having a quickie together. I don't know, you
Thank you.
know?
I love it. Our relationship has moved really fast, Lori.
Really fast. I don't even think I got to buy you dinner yet. You bought me dinner at your event. So we do have one dinner in the books. We're good. We're
Yes, that is
golden.
true. That is true.
Okay, so today we are talking about 3 strategies on how to build authentic business relationships. So I'm going to let you roll.
Yes, this is my favorite thing to talk about because, Lori, everything that has happened in my business career has come down to the relationships that I've built over the past 12 plus years since we started our very first business, Social Fly. It's all been about relationship building and really building community and building real, meaningful, impactful relationships comes down to three really important things. People want to do business with people that they know, people that they love, and people that they trust.
Mhm.
So, what I want to break down today is the know, love, and trust. How do we get those three things? And
Yes.
what are the strategies that I've used to personally build all of these relationships? And I can tell you, Lori, really most of it, really like all of it has happened organically. And I've kind of like gone back and realized that I organically built these relationships by, becoming known,
Mm.
becoming someone that people love and they want to do business with, and always being someone that people can trust. So I'm gonna share all my secrets right now.
Oh, I love it because we hear this all the time like, "Oh, it's no like and trust." And people are like, "But how?
Mhm.
What does that look like in my day to day?" Okay, let's go. I can't wait to hear about them.
Okay, so how do you become known? So, in this day and age, a lot of it has to do with social media, right? So, we'll dive into social media first, and then I'll talk about
Mhm.
another way to become known instantly, actually. So, social media, I want to talk about two platforms to start: LinkedIn and Instagram. If you are in business, these are the two platforms to really be showing up on right now. And there's different ways to show up on each platform. And the way you show up on Instagram is actually a bit different than how you need to show up on LinkedIn. But you have to become known for something. And what that means is creating content where you become recognizable or your business becomes recognizable. You're offering value, you're sharing information on these platforms that people remember, but
Mhm.
also that makes people want to reach out to you because that's what starts the initial relationship. So you're creating this like top of funnel content, and then you're giving people a reason to actually then want to message you and connect with you. Lori, I have to ask you, how many DMs do you get every day in your on your Instagram?
I mean, I get a lot because I tell people do not message me on here and I will not see it. And just you guys know that even if we're getting a bunch of messages from great people, we also get spam messages too, so
Mhm.
you add to that, so it's really overwhelming in the
Yeah.
DMs. Yeah.
It can definitely be overwhelming in the DMs, but here's where all the magic actually happens. Once you become known, it actually happens in the
It
DMs.
does. It
That's
does.
where the relationships then can actually start. So you become known. Now people are messaging you. That's where a relationship starts. You have to start
Mhm.
having conversations with people and then start moving them down your, we'll call it your sales funnel, if you will, or your relationship building funnel. So, like, what is that next step
Mm.
in your business for creating a potential customer or client, someone that wants to buy from you. It's really having those one-to-one relationships and connections. So the biggest miss that I see happening is people will say, I'm creating all this amazing content on social media, I'm getting all of these likes, but nothing's happening.
Yeah.
It's up to you to take that relationship to the next step. You have to start actually having real conversations with people. And all of that can be happening in the DMs on Instagram and on LinkedIn.
I absolutely I try to keep up with my messages though. So I for sure chat with people all the like if I'm it's funny because the people who are DMing thoughtfully in a
Mhm.
thoughtful way, I will absolutely do my best to get messages back. And I couldn't agree with you more. I built my entire network marketing company in the DMs.
Yeah, absolutely. It's building those one-to-one relationships and
Mhm.
connections. Now the good news is as you start, really scaling your social media and getting a lot of traction, there are tools to be able to help you with that. There's, a lot of business tools that can help. I don't want to say automate things because actually in the DMs is not really where you want to automate things. You can automate things that are top of funnel, but then you need a physical person to take over. So even if that's an assistant or a social media manager or someone that you train to really be able to help you in there to move your potential clients or customers to that next stage. But also you can just be meeting people in the DMs where they could become strategic partners for you, or we can just build real relationships with those
Mhm.
people. So becoming known for something first on social media is a great place. But here's where you can really skip ahead. And it's actually by joining a community, and a
Mhm.
community like ours, like Entreprenista, even if you didn't have any social media and you join a community and you join a business community where people want to connect, they want to do business, they want to build real relationships, you can be known in a community. And
Mhm.
one of the strategies to do that is to be posting and sharing value add content to help other people. So if you're in a community like ours, like Entreprenista, and I'll give an example. So Lauren Berkeson, she's in our community. She's a trademark attorney. She is always welcoming new members into the community. She's posting value add content about, trademarking your business or things that you should know. So she then becomes top of mind for people.
Mm.
And it doesn't matter, if you're necessarily going to be the one doing business with her. You might know someone who is looking for a trademark attorney. This happened to me a week and a half ago. I was at one of my daughter's dance classes, and a mom there shared how she was starting a business. She told me the name of her new business, and it was a very common name. And I was like, did you check the trademark directory? Did you search to be sure that you can have that name? I was like, I've been down this road before. We made that mistake early on. She's like, no, I haven't done that. And I was like,
Mm.
talk to Lauren, because Lauren is top of mind for me because she's always sharing content like this. So definitely a way to skip ahead to become known in a
So
community.
good. Hey, y'all. I'm so excited to share with you that this podcast, Earn Your Happy, is now a part of the Growth Day Podcast Network. Truly, this is like one of the most exciting things that has ever happened to me. I'm telling you, I no longer feel like I'm doing this alone. And I actually get to collaborate with the people who host the podcast that I'm obsessed with, like that I have been listening to myself, who inspired me to start a podcast, who have taught me about how to go and do the thing, like the original people who got me motivated through listening to their podcasts. You guys, a bunch of us are coming together to bring more growth to the world and to support shows and brands that we believe in. And one of my friends are also on this network, and I'd love for you to go subscribe to their show. You guys, I just had Danielle Canty on of the Boss Babe podcast. She co-hosts it with her other amazing co-host and one of my friends, Natalie Ellis. You guys, you can go check out that podcast on mine. It's episode 925, and Danielle and I talk all about burnout and how that could be showing up in your life, and most importantly, how to prevent it. But I want to tell you, if you have not gone and checked out the Boss Babe podcast yet, go subscribe because it is one of the largest online communities for ambitious women and female entrepreneurs. And I know that if you're listening to the show, chances are that's probably you. You guys, they have 3.6 million followers and 380,000 subscribers. The Boss Babe podcast is the place where they share real behind the scenes of building successful businesses, achieving peak performance, and learning how to balance it all. Most of all, you guys, truly, these women are in my life. Danielle and Natalie are people that I text on a weekly, monthly basis when I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel stuck. What should I do? I tune into their podcast, you guys, to learn. Even though they're my friends, I am still like crazy obsessed with this podcast because I learn something new every single time I listen. It makes me be a better podcaster. It makes me be a better businesswoman. It just makes me be better and more confident out in the world because they're so real and raw. And I can tell you that in the moments where I have had horrible days, down days, I've either gone and listened to this podcast or I've texted them because these are the people who truly get it. You want to listen to the people who are walking in the same footsteps that you are. You guys, go check out the Boss Babe podcast. You're not going to be sorry. And it's just going to like make you way smarter and you're going to have way more fun. So go check it out. We see that all the time in our communities, like the people who share the most value in those groups. So it might sound overwhelming right now, but honestly, you could put it in your calendar on, every Tuesday from 1 to 2. You go do a little research for the first 30 minutes on something that's pertinent to the people in the group. And then you spend that, time posting. Like it's so minimal, but if you're consistent and impactful, it's like everyone remembers those people's names and
Yes.
I'll watch people come in and be like, whoa, they just literally got so much business and I'm happy about it because they added so much value.
Yes, absolutely. So
Mhm.
then the next thing is, how do you become someone that people love? Because again, we'll go back. People want to do business with people they know, people they love, and people they trust. So how
Mhm.
do you become someone that people love? Offering value and just being yourself, like being a
Mhm.
good, authentic human. And something I've talked about since the very beginning of when Courtney and I started our first business, something we learned very early on is that givers gain. So if you
Mm.
show up, because showing up is very important, and you give, it ends up coming back always
Mm.
full circle. And it's not giving because you want it to come back. It's giving because you want to give. And it will all end up coming back full circle because when you reach out to other people and you make introductions to others and you're sharing advice and you're offering to help, people remember that. And you want, again, you
Mhm.
want to be memorable. You want people to want to connect with you and help. So just being your authentic self will make people fall in love with you. The one caveat
Mhm.
there is for all of this, actually, that I realized I should have mentioned in the beginning, you genuinely have to like people and want to build relationships for all of this to work. You
That
need to
is so
be, yeah,
true. And okay, so let's just play on that for 1 second.
sure.
Give me some of your tips for like introverts who are like, "Oh God, I feel kind of bad. Maybe I don't like people. I'm not sure. Like I'm nervous about this whole thing."
Okay. I will tell everyone this right here, right now. I've shared this before. I am an introvert. I'm like an introverted extrovert. So
Okay.
having this conversation with you, Lori, like I love this. I love one-on-one. Big groups and having all these people to talk to at once, super overwhelming for me. I much prefer the one-on-one, the, very small groups. And that's actually really great because
Mhm.
that's how you build real relationships. It's very hard to build relationships like in these large groups. When we
Mhm.
do our virtual networking events in the Entreprenista League, we put everyone in breakouts.
Mm.
So when you have those, one-on-one or, small group connections, it's easier to build those relationships. And if you're introverted, focus on being able to ask people a few questions, right? It
Mm.
doesn't have to be you, just talking all about yourself. Learn about other people. That's what actually builds the relationship. Because if you go into those, one-on-one meetings and you find out, where do you live? What are other things you're interested in aside from running
Mhm.
your business? Do you have family, children? Learn about them because then what's going to happen is something's going to come up where, like, I know, Laura, you have dogs, right? And you love dogs. And now I might see a cute dog Instagram in my feed, and I'm like, oh, I need to send that to Lori, right?
Please do.
Right. All the cute dog videos and photos. So I'm going to send you that video and you're going to remember that.
Mhm.
And we're going to build a deeper relationship and connection together, not necessarily all about business, but we're forming a real, genuine connection where we're all like becoming friends. So then we all
Mhm.
want to help each other. We all want to refer business to each other. We all want to be sure that we're all top of mind for one another.
Okay, that's so good. All right, we can go to the next.
All right. The last one is trust. So, how do you build trust? The first thing is do what you say you're going to do.
Amen.
So, if you are going to have one on ones with people to build these relationships and you say, oh, I have an introduction for you, I want to introduce you to this person, you better be sure you're going to send that introduction and you're going to do the follow-ups that you say that you're going to do. That's how you form that initial trust. Do the things that you say you're going to do. It's the same as it is in any relationship. So you really need to deliver on that and
Mhm.
showing up for the other person. It's like any relationship in life, in friendships, to build trust, we're there for the other person. We do the things that we say we're going to do and we follow through and we follow up. And that is the most important thing. So
Mhm.
become the person that people know that they can fall in love with and that they know that they can trust if they're going to refer business to you or they're going to put you in touch with someone. You want to be that go to person.
Let's talk about, because I know that you even told me at your event, you're like, oh my gosh, that like it's a lot for you to be around so many people, and
Mhm.
you are so thoughtful and you are such a one-on-one person. So let's talk about, because people are just, there's people listening who are like, okay, I'm really going to expand. I'm going to do these things. Like, tell me how you can let it be messy. Like, how does your body actually feel? Is it hard? Like, let's walk people through what it actually feels like when you're first trying to do this, or honestly, like how I feel even now sometimes, so that they're
Yeah.
not like, yeah, but I'm different. Yeah, but I'm more afraid than you. Yeah, but I'm more anxious. Let's go.
So I will say that it's practice that makes it a lot easier. So the first time you do something, of course, it's going to feel uncomfortable. The
Hmm.
second time you do something, it still might feel a little more uncomfortable, a little uncomfortable. But by the time you start doing something over and over where it just feels like repetition, it becomes a lot easier. I remember the first time we recorded our very first episode of Entreprenista, we used to record in studio in New York
Yeah.
City. I was so nervous.
And
I
in
like couldn't
studio, that's
in
intense.
studio. We started our podcast 5.5 years ago, November of 2018. I think we started recording episodes. I think it was October before the first episode was released. Courtney and I have never recorded podcasts before. We had done like
Mm-mm.
we did a Facebook live show, we did all these other things, and we were in business, but we weren't podcast hosts. Now all of a sudden we're podcast hosts, and we're prepping for this. We're in studio with these founders who we didn't know. I was so nervous. Now
Mm,
we've been doing it for 5.5 years, and it's like I can just show up with a mic and just start talking, but it's because I've practiced for 5.5 years. So, of
mm,
course, it's going to feel really hard in the beginning.
mhm,
And it still might feel really hard even after a year, but it should start to feel a little bit easier. And once you really do anything, you can find new strategies to just make it a little bit easier. But you're not alone. These things are
mm.
not easy. It's just practice.
Yeah, and I think that's the beautiful thing is, like, honestly, the really human factor of the awkwardness is actually likable, and
Yeah.
people will trust you if, like, right off the bat, if you say when you're meeting people like, "Hey, I'm trying to expand my network," or whatever the situation is, if it's appropriate, but just to say, "Yeah, this makes me nervous, but it's something I want to be great at." And I think people don't realize the power of using like exactly how you feel and being really vulnerable in that moment to
Yeah.
actually connect on all of these things that we said, the know, like, and trust. I think they connect with you faster when you show up in your truth rather than like
Yes.
trying to be good at this, because guess what? They're probably feeling the exact same way. So to have that first connection of like, yeah, this is weird, but we'd like to both like expand our network.
Yeah.
So I think that's such
Absolutely.
a fun thing. I've bonded with so many people over being awkward that I'm like,
I love that.
Hey, that might be my opening line. You don't even know. You don't know what you could be getting into. So, well, I'm so excited that you popped on to give these to us because your community really is like you're just all about connecting people. That's what the whole jam is
It's
literally connecting women in business, getting them everything that they need. So, you guys, we put also in the show notes a link that you can go and check out Entreprenistas. They do a ton stuff and a ton of fun stuff.
all the things.
They do all the things, you guys. They have a membership. And like I said, they had a great event this last year, which we'll see. We'll see if that's coming back.
There'll be more. There will be
Okay, we'll see.
more.
We'll
We
see.
just
There's
we
going to
don't
be
have a
good stuff.
date. We don't have the
Okay,
2025 Founders Weekend date, but as soon as we have it, Lori, you'll be the first to know. You can
great.
let everyone know. But we have our local meetups. So members are getting together locally, meeting up in person. Our members are organizing them. So everyone's getting together too.
Yes, so you can actually go and practice everything that
Yes.
we just talked about. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on. And you guys, until next time, earn your happy. Bye, everyone.